again, when I was speaking about stories of origin, in some cases, some of our stories of origin believe that we come from the stars, So the stars are very important to us. That represents a lot of times our relatives that have gone to the other side, or people that are watching over us, looking after us. So the Wichakpio Wakawayateki are very important to us. And so that star quilt you see is representative of that society, that Okolaki Chiep. And in that, in respect to that star quilt, that's what it represents, is that Wichakpio Wakawayateki, that I hate using the word holy as it relates to Waka, but that's not necessarily what it means. To me, Waka is it's filled with spiritual energy. It's they call it Wo Waka, but me, I just use Waka. And so it's the star people that have that are filled with the spiritual energy that we hold in high regard. That society, Okola Kichia, that society of them, and we refer to them to provide us guidance and direction, and whatever medicines for healing and stuff like that. But so the star quilt is very significant to us in a spiritual sense, So the star quilts were made representing all this healing and power and blessings that we have, and so they made it into a quilt. Because we held it in high regard, they after the buffalo were taken prior to the star quilt, they had buffalo robes that they would utilize, And after the buffalo were all taken, there were no buffalo robes, so they replaced it with a star quilt. These old ladies kind of got together and sewed and whatnot, and put that together in representation of it. It's very honorable to receive a star quilt from somebody, And at that time, this elderly lady, I believe it was Dennis Blunt, I think, that was quite the basketball player. He was in Brockton. And this lady, she wanted to recognize her grandson and his abilities, and she didn't want to embarrass him or anything. And so she went, instead of making him stand up, she went and took a star quilt and she threw it on the floor in front of him, and he walked over it, And then she had somebody come and pick it up. And that was the first star quilt presentation. And because of that, Grandma, boy, I forgot her name, but
was she a bighorn?
I believe so. But Dennis was I think there was a Red Eagle, maybe. But the Blunts from the west and the Red Eagles over here, they're almost one family, So across the reservation. But anyway, Dennis was the one that was honored, and that's where that star quilt giveaway began. Got together to make star quilting used to be quite the thing in the wintertime. You go into a lot of our older people's houses and you see this frame up on the wall, up on the ceiling, And then what the heck is that? Are they trying to keep warm or what? But they'd have these frames, and in the evening they'd bring those frames out because they're on ropes, and they'd put them down. They'd be staying on the frames, and these ladies would all get together. They'd have their tea and they'd gossip, but they would sew, They'd sew these quilts, and that's how they got together. That's how they shared. But it was done by hand, and so it was to receive a star quilt was really something that was really meant a lot. My Aunt Reba Ogle used to make hers by hand, Oh, and she used to make beautiful star quilts, and everybody wanted them because she was so good at it, And but she'd make them throughout the year, and then she'd give them away on behalf of her grandchildren, And geez, it's just an amazing thing. But that's how we socialized. That's how we got together, especially in the winter. But the star quilt giveaway was as a result of and I think it was Dennis that she was acknowledging, Very, very fine gentleman. He did lots for the community over in Fraser. He married over there, and that was one of my brother's sisters, Joan. Robert Forstar's sister was Joan, and he married her. But the quality is based on how many fans they had. Those little quilting fans. Because they take a chalk and they draw these fans, and if there were 3 fans, that represented that's a giveaway quilt. You'd share that. But if they had 6 fans, oh, that's something you cherish. Yeah, just little indicators like that. A lot of people don't know. So when they look at a star quilt, oh, yeah, they look at the beauty, but they don't look at the quilting. Well, back in the day, and that's what the older ladies just look at. They look at it.
They know, don't they?
And they'd see the quilting,
Yeah.
And you knew you had a brand new star quilt because the chalk marks were still on the quilt, the fans, And so that's kind of just little stuff like that.
Yeah.